So the question is, did I nail my timing? Welcome to Tuesday Night Edits. This is episode 42, and hopefully I pretty much nailed the timing to start. Did you like the new timer at the start? Let me know if you did. We'll just get chat up to make sure I can see it. Come on, computer, work with me. Yes, good evening, as I said. Thank you very much for coming along. Hopefully you can hear me and see me as clear enough as you really need to see me. You don't really want to be seeing too much of me in too much detail. So yeah, it's March already. It's, where the hell's the last 2 months ago gone? Feels like it was Christmas just days ago. February's been quite busy. March looks like it could be quite busy as well. I don't know if any of you out there, but or UK based, or if you're going to the photo show, I think I'm almost confirmed going on Saturday, the Saturday the 16th, I think it is. Getting a lift down for that, so hopefully I'll be there most of the day. So if you do see me, go and do tap us on the shoulder. Only too happy to chat. Right, so tonight is probably a little bit of a look through of some brief images that I made at the weekend. I don't know if you follow us on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. I'm part of a group on YouTube called Landscape Photographers on YouTube UK, and we all had a meetup. I think it was seven of us met up on the Northumberland coast, which made it very handy for me. So we had a grand day, met for sunrise, which meant an early start, and went through the day right through till it started raining at about 6:30 at night, past sunset. Great day, full of banter, really enjoyed it. Good bunch of lads that came along, good to chat. So that was John Haswell, who is the main admin and beginner of the group. David Hibburn, who is in chat at the minute, came along early doors before he had to leave to spend time with his family. I mean, who wants to do things like that? But he is currently probably at sea somewhere on a really bad connection, but he's still here, so credit to you, David. Thank you for coming along. Also there was Julian Elliott, who is based in France, so he'd come all the way from France for it. Really good to speak to him. He's a fellow working professional. He's a much harder working professional than what I am. So it was really good to talk to him and bend his ear about certain things. Shelled out plenty of advice, which was pretty much invaluable for us trying to climb our way up the totem pole. Somebody else who was there was an old school friend from donkey's years ago who I hadn't seen for probably 30 years. I only really discovered about a month ago that he was not only was he into photography, but he was also a member of the Landscape Photographers on YouTube UK group, because he has a vlog and does a little bit of YouTube, and I mean his channel's very much on the up, but small members at the minute, so do follow these, and that is Paul Thompson. I will eventually put links to folk in the description below, but at the moment I can't quite manage it. No worries, Peter. Best of luck at the doctors. Hope it's nothing serious. David was there, obviously I've just said, and another couple of guys, Dick Coultard and Neville Kershaw, who are both lovely fellas. And I'm not sure they're doing YouTube yet, but they are in the works, I believe. So it was really good to spend time with them. We did Dunsborough for sunrise from the north side, and then after breakfast we shot from the south side of the castle, and then we moved on to Bamborough, So messing around in the dunes there, views of the castle, both from the north and south, and then we rounded off at Lindisfarne. And by the time, pretty much by the time we got to Bamborough, the light had changed badly and it was very flat. And by the time we got to Lindisfarne, I didn't even bother getting the camera out the bag because it was flat light, and it was getting pretty miserable. So me and Julian just yacked for about a couple hours at that, but very enjoyable. Yeah, so I took some pictures. I have edited one so far, which is the thumbnail to this video, and hopefully I'll have some data to edit another one from Sunday's day out. Couple other things. Finally, I've been hyping them up for weeks, at least 2 weeks anyway. John Gibbs has released his first vlog. I told you a while ago he was due to start. So he's released his first vlog, and it's very good for a first video. I mean, I've been doing this for nearly a year, and mine are still very, very terrible. So John's jumped in right in, done a cracking job. Nice and relaxed, nice slow steady pace, and loads of images in it, which is always good, rather than basing an entire video around one image, which is all fine. You're all sitting here watching me. This video is going to be all based on one image. I can assure you that now. So it's good to see John jumping on the YouTube wagon. Very talented photographer, lovely fella, great crack. He is the first winner of the Take a View Landscape Photographer of the Year back in 12 years ago, I think, maybe. So I don't want to do him a disservice, but I think we're in the 12th year of that competition. But yeah, John won the very first one. He's based down in Norfolk. Does a lot of the Broads and the coastline around that area. Great work, proper photographer, proper landscape photographer. Does a great job. Give him a sub. Do search him out. It's John, Jon Gibbs. You'll find him without a problem, I would have thought. Do give him a subscribe because he's great, and it'll encourage him to do even more. So that's the second time. Hi, John. No worries, John. That was it was a lovely email to get. Congratulations to you on your award. I wish I could win awards. Mind the thing, I do have to kind of enter things to win things. Not that I assume I would win anything, because I am still pretty terrible at these things. But well done, John. That's John Dexter, who is in chat right at the minute. He won an award for some ICM work that he did, which was excellent news and a lovely email to get. So well done, John. Everybody pass on your congratulations to him in chat. Fabulous stuff. I had a very exciting day today. The kind of thing that I nerd out on. But I discovered, well, I was browsing YouTube the other day, and a video title came up, and I didn't have time to watch it at the time, but I did bookmark it. Thought that's a video I need to watch, and I watched it this morning, and it kind of blew my socks off, because it's something I've been looking to try to find out how to do for probably a couple of years now, and I've tried various things and got nowhere near. So I've had a bit of a play this afternoon. I think I've done this particular technique on 4 images, and one was disastrously bad. It didn't work at all. 2 were okay, and 1 did a very good job. So it is something I'm going to play around with going forward, just to try to nail it down, see what works best. But basically, this technique allows me to, well, if you're followers, you'll know that I'm very keen on my painters and my, the old English masters, Turner, Constable, people like Monet, you know, the impression, you know, the very distinctive kind of colour palettes that these guys all use. And this technique, in theory, allows me to steal their colours and apply them to my work. So I've been having a little play around today, and the one I got to work with is the image that is the thumbnail to this video. The kind of seascape of Dunstanburgh, and I applied the colours from Turner's Snowstorm at Sea to my image of Dunstanburgh and the crashing waves, and it does improve it, and it does kind of give that tonality. So that's quite exciting. That's kind of stuff I really like nerd out on. So I'm going to have a bit more play around with this in the coming days. I may do a new video, like a specific video for it, but it's all down to one YouTube channel. It's Pix Imperfect, which I'll try to remember to link below. The guy's amazing. I think he's called Umesh Dinda, over in India. Really talented guy, really knows his Photoshop, and I think he's had good. He's kind of backwards, you know, knows what he's wanted done, and kind of gone through all the techniques backwards to the starting point, and does a brilliant job at explaining it all. So way better than what I could. But I'm going to do a little video on that. Obviously reference him because he's done amazing work by putting this technique out there. He's probably not the only one, but he's the one that I found. I mean, the guy's already got 1 million subscribers, so he's obviously very good. But for some reason, I haven't come across him. I've come across some of his videos before, but never actually watched them. When I brought up his full channel earlier today, there were a couple of thumbnails and video titles where I thought I have actually seen some of these in the past, but never actually watched them. So that is that going forward. So yeah, think about that. I released a video on Saturday, so if you've been keeping up to date with my film photography, I did a video where I looked through my second roll of film that I've shot. I'll probably not do too many more of these because I'm sure you don't really want to see all the terrible shots that I take with my film camera. But I thought after I'd done the first one, that went down quite well. I'd follow it up with a second one just to see if I'm getting any better, to see if I'm understanding the whole process better or not, and you know, just give instant feedback and thoughts on the results that are coming through. And I was actually quite surprised and reasonably happy with what I got. A lot of them could do with some tweaks in Lightroom or whatever to just add a bit more contrast and things, but I was quite happy with a handful of them. Whereas in the previous roll of film, it was really just testing that the camera worked, and getting a rough idea of remembering I've only got a 50mm lens, so therefore I'm kind of constrained on how wide I could shoot and that kind of thing. So that was an interesting video. Unfortunately, it's about 23 minutes, so put the kettle on if you're going to watch that one. So I think that's probably enough me rambling on. Again, at the end of the video, I will update the description below to reference everybody that I've talked about so far, so you can easily find them. And yeah, and if you're watching live, the chat room is open. Please do join in. And if you're watching later on and catch up, then please do leave a comment. Comments are good. Comments help. Not only help, you know, the alleviation of the video and channel generally, but it also helps me drive where the channel and the videos should be going. So there you go. And all I was going to say, I probably mentioned this at the very start, but did you notice the timer on the start? So more things to play with, and I may even do a video in the near future, about why I live stream and how I live stream, which you may be interested in. There's plenty of videos out there on how gamers live stream, but there's maybe not so many out there about like how photographers or illustrators and that kind of stuff live stream, and the kind of stuff that we've got access to, because you can do it pretty quickly and pretty cheaply out there. So it's worth a try for anybody out there that's keen to do some easy video. So I think we will crack on, and I'll remind myself what images I actually have to play with tonight. Right then, I'll get me things in the right place. Make sure everything's fine. There you go, that's the image that I applied the effect to, so that was on about. So that's the original one that I initially finished. So I was quite happy with that. Nice and abstract. Gives the impression of crashing waves where there was crashing waves. Did nearly get wet. But I wanted to apply the tonality of the Turner image, and by doing so it came out like this, which is pretty good because those tones are very much part of his painting, or certainly the JPEG render that I had access to. To actually sample colours. Obviously, the National Gallery or the Tate Britain or whatever it is probably wouldn't appreciate me going along with a camera and picking out colours off the actual painting. They wouldn't be very impressed with that, I don't think. So we've just got to manage with what we've got access to. So yes, I was going to remind myself what images I had to play with. It wasn't the greatest of mornings. It was quite flat light. There was a bit of brightness early doors. There's some nice shapes amongst these. These ones are the kind of S-bend of the runoff along by Embleton Golf Club, looking towards Dunsborough Castle in the distance. Little speck there. Probably not going to do anything with these ones tonight. I think I'll need a bit of work in my own. You can see some of these that I've used to produce this image. May do another Dunsborough one. We'll see. Playing with some just panning left and right with what is that on the edge of the beach there. Just fairly simple shots. Bambra from the other side. This might be an option actually. Very washed out. Some terrible shots I took. Might have a quick go. Might even try to do two quickly. How long have we been going? 20 minutes. Maybe gonna go with one. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a Bambra image. Let's go with that. Right, so that's definitely going to be one. Just nice abstract shapes. This is a telegraph pole, which is obviously, as I've moved the camera, it's got a line there, and then it's self up there as well. And hopefully that'll blend together with definitely these 3, 4. Yeah, I think 4 images. Yeah, that one's probably too light. Or maybe throw in a weird one. Hold on, not weird one. Throw in something like that to give it quite a bit of contrast. So I'll just mark these as 2 so I can find them. 2. That one I was going to do that, yeah. And then we'll just sort out all the issues on this one. So lens corrections, slap them on, dust spot, and do this roughly. Obviously bright enough to have to shoot at about f11 because of all the dust. As you can see how mucky my sensor is. I'll just get a shot of these main ones that show up. Something like that I'll probably about do. Give it some contrast, darken it up a bit, highlights down, halfway, shadows don't need to be touched, blacks down a touch. Yeah, increase the white a little bit. Clarity I'm going to boost a bit just to hopefully find some structure for everything to latch onto. Yeah, just auto will do for that. Yeah. DAs. I don't want to go too far because it's starting to bring in other elements. As you can see, this image here, I flipped the camera completely upside down as I was shooting it. So not only has it got a kind of an impression of the castle here, it's also got the outline here, which I don't want to make that too apparent because it could start confusing the image. So I'm just going to leave off dehairs to keep the things fairly ambiguous. Right, so just sync those across all of those. Sync, and I'm going to mark all, check all. There you go. Synchronize. Hi Rob, yeah, it was. I've given it, like I said, I've given it a go, and I was happy with one result. One was a mile off, and the other two had promise, so more experimentation needed. Which I do love a bit of Photoshop experimentation. Nothing better than this one. I'm just going to raise the shadows a bit, just to keep a bit more in there. Just increase the clarity a bit on that one as well, because it's quite dark and taken very separately to the others. I may well end up jettisoning this frame altogether, but we'll see. So we'll just stick all these into Photoshop as layers. So yeah, I mean it's kind of the first time I've watched any videos on the Pix Imperfect channel. Really good channel by the looks of it. A bit more advanced Photoshop, but also making it easy for people as well. I'm guilty recently, certainly over the last 4 or 5 years, of only being quite happy with the small section of Photoshop I know about, and not pushing myself to learn more and more and more of the program to be able to do this kind of stuff. So some of the ways are quite long-winded. You've kind of got to go around the houses to get to a certain point, to the point that you want. But it looks like it could be worth it. And the next trick will be developing an action or something to shorten some of these workflows, because we want to be able to do it quickly. Well, I do anyway. Right, I am just gonna, now that's loaded up, I'm just gonna invisibilize that layer. Just gonna blend these ones just to see what things are looking like. There's a bit of an impression there, you can kind of see. Using darken, multiplies too dark, lightens, obliterating most of it. So we will look at overlays, just a dark splodge. Soft light's not that much different. Sorry, we must switch that onto a thingy layer as well. Darker splodge even more so there. I quite like that streak there, but I thought one of them might work better. I'm just going through the blend modes again, just on this top layer. Lighten isn't that. Just becomes an abstract, you know, a very abstract kind of image there. And I do like to have some subject there. I can try moving it, or how's that going to interact? Interact with things. I do like that, you know, we're still retaining these lines here. And it is very much going to be an abstract kind of image. Now, if I drop this down the elsewhere on the list in the, you know, the layers panel, because it will have some change. Well, it will at the minute because it's on the light and blend mode, of course, and these are on soft light. So rearranging these will have a bigger effect, in theory. Sometimes they do. Maybe not today though. Right, I'm just going to invisibilize that one. And I'm thinking I'm going to make a new layer, combine all the layers together, make a new layer, activate that one, bring that one to the top so it's overlaying it, change the blend mode for this to something else to see what it does. And maybe just using part of it. There's soft light. Let's darken it up. I don't think I'm going to get the effect that I was kind of looking for. Annoyingly. Lightened. Just going to move this. No, it's not gonna. I was hoping it would bring in the shape of the castle, like in this kind of area here. But it's not doing it like I hoped. Oh well. Could go up to there, leave it above the headland, and then we'll rub out all this. So it's the wrong way. At least I know where it is. Something like that. It's the wrong way, wrong one to get rid of. Softer, just to keep that softer edge there. I mean, it's not a distinguished, but there is a bit of a smudge there. We're dealing with smudges now. Not a good thing. Now then, Alan, good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Well, probably because you've been out taking amazing pictures, because I haven't been there, because I only bring crap light and rubbishy subjects, don't I? You and Callum go out yourselves. You always come away with an amazing sunrise or brilliant conditions. I tag along, and it all goes wrong. Right, I'm going to drop the opacity on that a touch. Yeah, this is going to be a very abstract one. Not much form here. Right, new curves layer, I think. Just do some tweaking. Tweaking, not twerking. Yeah, Something like that. Get out the way, you. It's lightened it a bit out here. It's probably gone a bit far there. So I could just do a mask straight across there, just to dull down that left hand side. It's all right, Alan. I can take your honesty. I do bring bad conditions whenever I go when I come out with you. All right, add some colour in. I think let's get some colour going. Can I try something different, or just stick to me? Nah, stick to me oranges. Maybe he's got to have a bit of a green kind of look, this image. We can try it. We can always turn it back to orange if we want. That's a bit overblown. Drop that. Yeah, maybe something like that. Another curves adjustment. Just want to make it pop a bit. And I might actually put a mask on there and do and right across there, because that left hand side was just void of colour of everything. So using the hue blend mode, it really wasn't a nice look to that side, even though that side may not actually end up doing anything with it, but you never know. We'll see. So, random abstract image that is supposedly Bamburgh Castle. Let's see what you've got. I haven't done any rearrangement, have I? No, they're all as were. So Analog Effects Pro. We'll load that up and see what it spits out using presets, which would be a good time to actually stick this in whilst Analog Effects Pro loads. Just as a reminder, you can get the presets that I use all the time for one small price, and you can get them from bit.ly.com/AAP2presets, or the link below in the description. By doing that, you do support me in these. Well, you support me existing and living. And continuing to make these live streams and my imagery and paying bills and stuff. Right, so presets, what have we got? Some of them could be quite washed out, just going by what the kind of stuff I usually use. I'm thinking I didn't say it, but I am thinking square crop as a final result. So I'm not too fussed about when the presets you switch things around. I'm not too bothered about things being in the middle, because I am thinking I'll be cropping out most of that left hand side. To go square, let's just have a look at some of these in detail, because the small previews of it, I've just remembered I didn't do something. I didn't flatten out the ISO noise, did I? Oh no, that's going to spoil things. It's going to make things very noisy. Just looking still. Look at, you can see the noise in there. Not a happy bunny. Actually, I'm going to come out of there and I'm going to load up Define, and that should hopefully flatten out that initial noise. It'll not do a brilliant job of it, but it should do enough to make it worthwhile. Let's see the preview. I'm going to clean it up a bit. I'm going to make that one a bit bigger, and that one a bit bigger. And this one I'm going to move over into this area. So I can sample it, measure, and then hopefully that'll be much cleaner. Yeah, that'll do. It's probably lost a bit of texture, but I should have done it in Lightroom. I didn't check everything. Hi Ozzy, all good, thanks. Good to have you along. Well done on your ICM experimentation as well. Doing well. Yeah, I don't bring good conditions, David. As soon as I arrived back after everybody had the breakfast, mid morning when I come back after walking the dog, it just all closed in, and it was, by the time we were driving back from Lindisfarne, it was chucking it down. Don't take me out. Don't go photographing with me is the main tip I'd give to anybody. Forgot England's playing cricket tonight. Right, they're still loading. Right, which one was I? It was one of these centrally ones. That one, was it? No, wasn't that one. It was one of these ones. Still noisy. I can still see that noise in the middle there, even though we'd done that flatten thing. So let's have a move around of some of this. And what I'm really just looking for here is just some interesting tonal changes or shapes flying out. I mean, there wasn't a lot of structure and shape to the starting image, so there's not going to be much in this, but it would be nice just to get something. So I don't want to go too far this, because it just becomes a dirty splodge. Kind of keep it lightish. Obviously, we're going to maneuver this around. See how things line up. You're going to have something like this and actually crop it mainly to the left hand side. Thinking, still going square crop. Move that up there a bit. Lighten that a bit. Excuse me. Just to contrast a bit. Just kind of helps fill the lighter areas with a bit more colour to hopefully latch onto. Don't want to drop that down too far. 15. Dealer extraction about 11, 10, 11 there. Lens vignette. Let's move this around to see if there's any better. Actually, over this area is probably the best. Gives things a bit more definition. Film type. I'm just gonna. It's all quite high. Got that down so it's a bit more structured. Just playing with different film settings. Kind of like that. I think I am going to add typically I'm going to add some more orange in the next step, or maybe it's in this levels and curves part. But on my main screen, it's like I did start it off green, so I was going to embrace that. But looking on my other screen, it's a bit more orangey, and I am actually liking that. So I'm just going to get this kind of form together, whatever it is. Almost looks insect-like. A couple of legs, a couple of them things on the heads, feelers or whatever they are. Could be something like that, or could just be, just nice painterly movements on a canvas. I'm not too fussed either way what it is. One of them ones I'm not really bothered what it is. I'm just enjoying the shapes. Alright, colorize. I'm going to drop that. Pull that just a fraction. Blue. Drop the blue. Actually, no. I'm just going to colorize it in Viveza or similar. So I'm going from there to that. It's not a big change, but hey, it was a set of images I did think I'd be struggling with to make anything from. So right, clarity of thought. Viveza. Use Viveza to adjust the hue generally. Maybe the odd selection as well. We'll see what happens with that. There we go. Add a bit more orangey, and I'm going to add in some structure. Maybe not some structure, some contrast. Drop the saturation a touch. Few percentages. Remove the green. Remove the blue. Add in the blue. Few percentages. Just adjusting sliders until I'm happy-ish. 1, it's still about there. I'm going to drop a point on here and then add in structure separately just along this mark here. Bring that in. I'm going to drop one on the other side of it in this area here, just to hopefully enhance this line a touch. You can probably hopefully see there's a bit more contrast there. Just little touches to forms of structure. Kind of hoping that this isn't turning blue. I'm happier with that now. Probably lighten this area a bit, so we'll do that in Photoshop though. Just okay that, get that back in. So probably for a Tuesday night edit, this is, I would think, my easiest, my most abstract image I've produced, or I am currently producing. I do usually like to work with actual subjects. I think it's just there's an appeal there of just some just random brush strokes really, even though it wasn't a brush. Yeah, right. What do I do in dodging? Select layer, new layer, load, overlay, opacity 50, no, fill color, 50% grey, that's where the 50% is. Going to paintbrush, reverse them to white. Hold on, change my brush to a soft one. Make it big. Make the percentage small. Paint on the layer. And just lighten this up along, mainly on this side. A little bit down there. I may actually make a new layer, just for a bit of dodging, just looking to darken things up in this area. So layer, new, overlay, 50% grey. Okay. Switch that around. That's on the darken, on the burn layer. 4% in there. Just a little mark like that. A little bit in there. Maybe one there. Just soft smudges. I think that's going okay. I think it is. Maybe it's just going to add a little bit of colour. Add in that yellowy orange. Something like that. Paint bucket tool, drop that in. Down the hue. And then reduce the opacity on this significantly. Well, 30% maybe. Flick that on and off, see what the difference is. I'm going to mask some of this actually. Because with it on, it gives it that bluer cast over here. So I'm going to mask this. And erase. What kind of brush we got? 70%. We'll go 40%. Flow we want to go to 100. And I'm just going to erase on here so it doesn't affect it really. So really what I'm wanting is this area here to remain that bluer cast. There you go. I think that looks not too bad for a completely random abstract smudge on the screen. I think that's what we'll call this one, the smudge. Yeah, I don't know. Could be one of them arty-farty ones where you look at it and explain something about the meaning of life, or number 42, or the colour of Donald Trump's underpants or something. I don't know. But for me, it's just some colour, some markings with some form. That are quite pleasing to me. Everybody else will be going, Andy, what the hell have you been smoking? But to me, there's something appealing about that. So I'm quite happy with it. There we go. Another wicket. Not that I know who's batting or anything. Oh, West Indies are batting. 31 for 2. Right, yeah. It's something different for a Tuesday night. That's what we're after. So, gotta keep things spiced. Can't be just plodding along at the same old thing. Yeah. Quite like it. Whatever it is. Let me know in chat or in the comments below what your interpretation of this image is. Best answer might get something. I might have the honour of naming the image. There you go. Right. I will save this because it's worth saving, I think. And wait an hour for it to save. Then we'll go in back in the Lightroom, play around with it, try a couple of crops just to see if it, can maybe improve break or whatever. See what options we've got. So we may have something, we may not. God, this is slow. So slow. Heartbreakingly slow. Didn't think there was that many layers. Oh dear Lord. Oh, it's finished. Thank for... Nearly swore. Thank the Lord. Right. Give that extra star because it's finished. Right. Create virtual copy. We'll start cropping. Crop tool. We'll go one by one. Nice square crop like I was on about, because originally I was thinking that before I did the initial overlay. Now I'm kind of thinking something like that as a square. Yep. We'll create another one. And my other usual crop, 9x5. Just expand that out. Stick that up at the top. Try different positions. Something like that, maybe. Go down a bit, up a bit. Who's about there? Keeps things definitely, away from the immediate centre anyway. So there's an option. And I think it's a 3x5 crop anyway. Yep. Didn't move an inch. So there we go. We've got three reasonable crops out of it. We've got the original 3x2, 1x1 for Instagram or wherever, or just as another print option, and then a 9x5, which I do use quite a lot. Excuse me, rubbing my eye. So there you go. I'm reasonably happy with that. It's a smudge. A very abstract superhero. Yeah. I suppose with the that streak there, it could be a cape, couldn't it? Oh, we'll see. It's an entertaining. It's a video. It's a live stream. Live streams go wrong. Don't expect genius every week. Actually, I don't think I've ever displayed a genius on here. Not by a long shot. Couple of results over the weeks. I've liked the results. A lot of them have been a bit disastrous, but it's all about showing you the warts and all, where things just sometimes don't happen. So there you go. Right then, just to finish off, thank you very much for watching. Please do check out everybody that I've mentioned today. I will update the description below to add in those links eventually, hopefully. Yeah, I might try to do a video on this technique I've found to see how it works, whether it works. It's a bit it is very random at the minute, and some of it I might not be doing right. I don't know. So might be doing that. Remember, I've got a video just went out on Saturday. Do check that one out if you haven't seen it already. And that might be about it. So thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Sorry the image has been a bit, but next week might be better. I've got no plans to go out shooting in the next week, I don't think. before next Tuesday, so it might be something from a couple of weeks ago we're looking at. But I've got loads of data to work with at the minute, and I've got images for an exhibition to make, so I better get on and use up all the data I can find, I can lay my hands on at the minute to push the boundaries. So thank you for watching, thank you for being patient. Also, I forgot to mention, on the doodah below are all my social medias and Patreon. On part of Patreon, one of the tiers is a $4 tier, and you can opt for that $4 tier. One of the benefits is a monthly desktop wallpaper, and the one that I've just put out this month is Lindisfarne Priory, one I haven't shown anywhere on social media yet. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, then you can contribute to my Patreon and get various benefits and stuff. So do check that out if you're interested in supporting me in any way. Right, this time I'm saying thank you and good night. It's been lovely to have you along. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next one.